Oh, look at this. A fan zone scoreboard. What's that? What's that, Jesse? Can you show them?
Yep, Maddie.
Look at that.
There you go.
Look at that. Yeah. Now,
where do I get that lamp? I like the scoreboard, but check out that lamp.
We focus on the scoreboard, not the lamp.
Shaped like the constellation Queen Cassiopeia.
It'd be really cool if that scoreboard was synced to the game in real time and just like showed the score and the time.
Man, that's so crazy, Jesse, because it is.
Oh, wow.
It is. And you can get all 32 NHL teams and all 32 NFL teams with Fan Zone. And like Jesse said, synced to the game. So whether the game is on in your house or your in-laws are over and you're trying to look at your phone every once in a while in the bathroom, you will know the score.
So and even better than getting one of those is getting it for free. Because if you enter the link, if you hit the link in the description right now, you can enter our contest to win one of those Fan Zone scoreboards for free.
And if you get one of those scoreboards, because you synced it to the game, you'll know every time your team lights the lamp.
Oh, boo. Mm-hmm. Manual scoring options are also available too, so you can actually control it from home too, which is great. Score now with Fan Zone. Click the link in the description. Get yourself one by winning it for free, or you can buy it. Again, fanzonescoreboards.com. Let's start the show.
SDPP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go! Oh, welcome back to the NHL, Matthew Tkachuk.
Oh,
welcome back.
That's crazy. I've never seen Sportsnet post an 8-hour video before. That was so nuts.
Why is it 8 hours?
Well, it's just sometimes you stay up until 4 a.m. watching Matthew Tkachuk get wrecked by Vinny Desharnais.
If Vinny Desharnais does nothing else the rest of his career, this will be his highlight moment, and I'm sure he'll be okay with it.
I always knew I liked the Sharks.
Look at this hit. Bam!
Whoa! Damn, both hands on the ice before his bum. That's a hard fall.
Yeah.
That's absolutely a hard fall.
At least he caught himself, which, having kids going through toddlerhood, we know it's not always my kid would love to fall without using her hands.
I'm disappointed none of us got it, because we were like, who's Tkachuk going to mix it up with? Because he's doing it with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And phrasing. And I thought it was going to be John Klingberg. We did not know Vinny Desharnais was coming back to the lineup. I believe this was his first game.
I don't think anybody. Just Jesse, would you have said Vinny Desharnais?
I probably would have listed every Shark ahead of him.
Yes. I mean,
Vinny Desharnais?
Big guy, but I wouldn't expect him to be like, just slamming him mid-ice.
I'm just talking about in terms of names that come to mind.
Yeah.
He's probably last on my list.
I'm just enjoying this photo, which is literally the plot of The Very Grouchy Ladybug, very literary classic. Hey, you want to fight? Well, you're not big enough. And it's great. This is great. Look at that's the screenshot. That's it right there.
Wow. Lifts him up.
He's in the air. Both feetsies up. A shoulder and head above Vinny Desharnais. That's a hard fall. That's good stuff. Thank you, Vincent.
You got crushed.
I appreciate that. Did Vinny complete the game is what I want to know.
I think so.
Okay, good.
Why?
Well, you got hit from behind from noted chicken shit Evan Rodriguez. So
right. Well, then we had a goalie fight.
It's a culture issue.
And I love this because, man, this San Jose, Florida game turned into a barn burner and no Kiefer Sherwood, right? So, San Jose had just traded for Kiefer Sherwood. He would have had to make his way across the continent to play the game.
And be healthy to play because he hasn't been playing.
Yeah, but I feel
that would have been fun.
He would have been great to have in this game. This is the perfect game for Kiefer Sherwood.
Well, I do like that yesterday we talked about how the Sharks actually do have a little bit of snarl. Like a really undetected sort of level of snarl that they've developed over the course of this season. And Sherwood adds to that. Like, they're trying to build an identity outside of the kids. And you can't just have a collection of good players. You got to have a culture. And I make fun of the Panthers for having a chicken shit culture, but it's also a winning culture, right? So,
yeah, of course.
And it's built around being a bunch of assholes. And you need those.
And so when Nedeljkovic goes and challenges the Florida Panthers to a fight, Bobrovsky's like, that's enough. I must step in.
The way Bobrovsky approached that,
it's like he's Triple H. like walking out. Like there might have been fireworks going off in the background and confetti. He comes,
the game, and I am here.
he comes down like I'm gonna kill you.
He was like heated.
Yes,
But
Yeah.
What's
it's
hilarious though
almost
is
like-
that they didn't land a punch, either of them.
No. Yeah, Nedeljkovic is like blocking with his hands, which you don't really see in hockey fights very much.
Yeah,
But like the fire in Bob's eyes, like I doubt there's some sort of long-standing rivalry between he and Nedeljkovic. Look at the Sharks just having the time of their lives.
Oh,
by the
yeah.
way, on the bench. But like
the Panthers too.
oh yeah, Bob, I think wanted this more than he wanted oxygen. For some reason, like he knows he's coming up on the end of his career. Like he's still playing well. I'm not saying he's washed or anything, but you know, time catches up with us all. He's in his late 30s, right? You want one. You want one. I'm pretty sure he's got a Vesna. He's got a cup. He's got all these things. Hey, did you ever get in a fight? As a matter of fact, I did.
Yeah, well, if he wanted one, he's got to get another one because that's not a fight you show your grandkids.
Whatever.
It was like miss. Oh, that's a good.
Look at that
freeze frame, though.
face.
Good freeze frame.
Goalies just wear too much to fight.
They look silly, and that adds to how awesome this was.
Yes. No, they got to be boneless here, though. They got to take
What's
off
kind of nuts
the giant shoulder pads.
is if you've seen Bobrovsky without his pads on, he's one of the skinniest men alive. Like he's a very tiny man.
That's
like a
what
buck
makes him so
45.
limber.
Yeah.
He's like a Cirque du Soleil performer. When you see him out of his equipment, he's incredible.
just a noodle.
Yeah,
He's built like the prototypical modern day goalie.
Yes.
Like, they're all tall bone racks.
100%.
Yeah, the guys in the 90s that we grew up with were like thick daddies. Like Marty Brodeur was not a slender man. Patrick
Say it
Waugh was not
again,
a
Adam.
slender man. Thick daddies.
And they weren't very tall either. Yeah, he's okay. Who wrote this? Hockey DB has him as 6'2", 180.
I think he's probably less
Knock
than that.
it off.
He's not 180.
That's enough. That's enough of that. I don't listen. I like talking about hockey. I don't like being lied to. What is that? With his equipment on? Stop it.
I know. There's that really famous photo of him.
Yeah.
I think it was the first time the Panthers really went on a run, and they had that. What was it? A triple overtime game or something like that, or even quadruple. There was a crazy game in like the third round, and there's a picture of him, and he just looks emaciated. And you're like, holy, like he was exhausted after
Eunice,
that game.
oh God.
Like that's what he looks like.
This is the photo you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, they said he lost 15 pounds during the game. He didn't lose 15 pounds during the game. This was the caption on the photo. But yeah, after that long game, this is the photo of a very slender man.
Zdeno Chara
He's a teenager.
would lose like 9 pounds over the course of a game. I doubt he lost 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there was a Eunice Corpusalo after the 5 overtime game between the Lightning and Blue Jackets in the bubble. Very similar look. Dude, it's 8 periods of hockey. That's friggin' insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
The equipment, it hides everything. The dude is not big, but he's good at goaltending.
Hey, get a gander. That's an elite athlete.
Oh, yeah.
That is
Absolutely.
He does look
one
like
of
an
the
elite
greatest
athlete.
hockey goaltenders of his generation.
Yes.
Yes. Noted flyer, Sergei Bobrovsky.
Man, it's like when you watch baseball clips from 20 years ago and you see Kevin Youkilis come up to bat and you're like, everybody's fat. Everybody's like they're all professional high-end athletes.
Except for the guys whose necks have biceps.
Yes. Well, and now the guys, like the baseball guys, are all like really eating well and really in tight. But like I remember, like, you know, these guys would kind of amble up to bat and whatever. It's just kind of crazy with different sports, the different body types that can work. You see in golf too. You see guys like Tiger Woods trained with like the SEALs, and he was in incredible shape. And then you'd have John Daly come up. He's like, here's a 400-yard drive.
I like how John Daly just embraces, yeah, whatever. I'm hanging with you. And I'm actively trying to make myself worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's just living his life. No, like at this point, it's a bit. Like, and he's committing to the bit.
Absolutely.
You were talking about how Sergei Bobrovsky has accomplished so much. Well, he hasn't accomplished this because the
What is it?
Sharks play-by-play voice pointed out that Alex Nedeljkovic is one of only 5 goalies with a career Gordie Howe hat trick.
Whoa!
Isn't that cool? So
I
he
can't
has a
believe
goal,
there's 5,
an
honestly.
assist, and a fight in his career. He joins Ron Hextall, Chris Osgood, Mike Smith, and Billy Smith.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty darn cool, Nedeljkovic.
Ron Hextall does not surprise me.
Two
No.
Smiths is that's just a
Chris
little
Osgood, though.
odd.
Chris
Chris-
Osgood.
Oh, yeah.
forgot
'Cause he had that fight with Wah where afterwards he's like, pick on someone your own size. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Do you
Man.
remember Nedeljkovic's goal?
Nedeljkovic, if I'm not mistaken, has a goal at the EA and NHL level.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yeah. He has, I want to say, he has 3 professional goals.
Damn.
One at each league. I'm not as confident about the ECHL. I'm pretty sure he has an AHL and an NHL.
I seem to remember talking about something like that at some point in the last couple of years, but my memory. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's
Of course.
It's great. Anyway, really entertaining game between the Sharks and Panthers. Who won? Who cares? It was fun.
Sharks dominated. It ended up being 4-1.
And we're
Final
grateful
score.
to them for that because we don't need the Panthers back in the playoff picture. It would just make things worse.
I still believe they're going to make it, but like at some point, they are going to have to start winning games, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Nedeljkovic's goalie goal was indeed last year. Last year, almost to the day.
For Pittsburgh?
January 17th. Last
wow.
year, he scored his goalie goal against the Sabres. Yeah.
Does he have? Oh, he would have just missed
It was
it.
with the Penguins.
I was going to say he has a Gordie Howe hat trick over the last calendar year, but he just missed it. What a bum.
Oh, yeah, just barely. Yeah.
What a bum.
I assume he has an assist in that time, too.
Retired, Ned.
He's had a pretty good little career resurgence with San Jose this year. Like, surprisingly. Did not expect that.
He's the number one, like right now. I would put him ahead of Askarov, but with how the two are playing, I would run with Nedeljkovic over.
Sorry, what was that,
right now.
Jesse? What was that?
Oh,
What was it?
how
Were
the
you
two are
6-7-ing it?
playing. Yeah, I wasn't doing 6-7.
6-7 cam for Jesse. That's good. I like
Aren't the
that.
kids saying 6-7's over?
I'm sure they are.
Yes.
Yeah. What
Please
are
God, make it
your
over.
children saying? Your little toddlers.
Someone in Leo's, one of Leo's teammates said 6-7 is so 2025.
Are you serious?
I heard that from a 5 or a 6-year-old the other day. Yes.
Well, you know what?
That's the hot tip.
I am thrilled about that.
Time
Happy
to
for that to
them
be done.
is so small that
yeah.
that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
2025.
A month ago.
That was forever ago.
Yeah.
Man.
Meanwhile, it's like
you know what
1/50th of his
percentage-
life, right?
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
not. It's actually quite big.
Yeah.
it's a big chunk.
Adam, does Everly say that 6-7's over?
I'm sure her school's probably late to it. The thing about grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 is you do pick up on what the older kids are doing, but you always get it later. So I feel like, I don't know. I think Everly, any chance she has to annoy us, she's going to take it. Like she's developing a sense of humor now and starting to trick me and thinks it's funny.
Oh, no.
And so a
dangerous.
couple times she's snuck off and I'm like, where's Everly? And then I'll like walk in her room and she'll say boo and she'll actually scare me. And then we have this thing where she stopped eating her vegetables. So we say, listen, you don't eat your vegetables at lunch, you're not getting dessert at dinner. Like that's the rule. And so she'll be like at school and she'll be like, yeah, I didn't eat my vegetables. I'll be like, oh, I guess you know what that means. And then I'll open it up and the vegetables will be eaten. She'll be like,
Frank,
dumbass! Yeah. And then she does that and she like runs around the room in a circle like a dog chasing its tail. Like, Anyway, she's in trouble.
pranking you good.
Man,
those are good ones.
She actually does have a pretty good sense of humor, and I'm terrified. Leo, that could be bad news.
Leo's not like awesome with nuance. So there was his version of a prank was calling me Steve. Because he knew I didn't like it.
That's
they go
not a
through
good
that.
prank.
I'm
Yeah.
not Adam, I'm Dad.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
But now he doesn't call me Steve. He'll call me a variation of it and see if he can get away with that. And the answer is
what?
still no.
Like-
but the most
Stove?
recent one is
Steph?
I'll be like, hey, Leo, can you go do this? Okay, Steve Dangle. And I go, okay, definitely not.
I get that.
Definitely not.
I get that. Okay, Adam Wild. Yeah, she'll say that to me.
No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No. Does Waffles ever give you Jesse Blake?
No. Waffles is a great listener. I'll give you that.
Waffles is a good
listens
listener.
to all the stories.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what Waffles knows about us? So Saturday, January 10th was the Indigenous celebration game with the Toronto Maple Leafs. And, we talked about it at this point, but we're going to talk about it again, the Little Native Hockey League. This was the Little NHL was born in 1971
I get it.
Yeah, the LNHL.
Oh, yeah. Little Native Hockey
How did you not get that before?
Oh, yeah.
I also didn't get it.
Wow. They're
serious?
smart.
Well, I mean, there's one brain between us, maybe.
Half, maybe. Yeah.
All right, well, listen, it was born out of the reality that First Nation children and youth were being shut out of tournaments because of anti-Indigenous racism, which Canada has a pretty serious history of. Today, it's so much more than just a hockey tournament. It started with 17 teams. It's now up to 270, which is crazy.
That's a lot.
Last year for the 2025 tournament, like I said, 270 teams, 707 games over 4.5 days from the Sunday to the Thursday of March break. And by the way, growing up, there was nothing better than a March break hockey tournament. It was my favorite, especially if it was one that you get to travel to. Is the best. Those are some of your prime memories as a kid.
How didn't Steve say that's a lot of teams?
You're wearing many games.
That's so many teams.
You're wearing the shirt.
Is it too late? Is it too late?
Way too late. What is wrong with you?
So we want you to check it out.
You have time.
There's also a Crave documentary on it. Basically, we're looking to build awareness for the tournament, elevate Indigenous youth, athletes, and strengthen development pathways within Ontario. This year's theme is empowering girls and women, and you can check out the link in the description of this episode, both audio and video.
Oh, man.
You guys are raising little hellraisers.
We know.
Those children are just poking you.
We know.
It's a problem.
I was untying Isla's skates yesterday, and she friggin' kicked me, cut my knuckle. That was great. Yeah, kids are great.
You know, you deserved it.
I'm looking forward to your future, Jesse. This is gonna be great.
You know what?
More dogs.
Steve,
Yeah, more dogs.
You know what you got then? You got to not only do you have your knuckle cut, but then you got to sit down and watch that great Leafs game.
Yo,
And then do an LFR afterwards. How much did you like that?
I didn't. Man, you know what sucks? Like, okay, the LFR is fine. Like, it's fine. Sitting down and doing that is fine. But there's nothing worse than being partway through a game and there's so much time left in a game and realizing you're watching a hunk of shit game.
Well, they're like the Mammoth game last week.
Oh, the worst. They make it, 3-1. Now I have my doubts. But they just came back from 3-1 down against Winnipeg. All right. Don't fill your diaper. They make it 4-1. I'm like, all right. This might be a hunk of shit game. Also, please make a save. And I'm just getting cranky in a bunch of different respective group chats. They make it 5-1. And I'm like, anyone who's not currently working on this game, shut it off. Shut it off.
I got a text from my wife saying, I've kept your stream on, but it's on mute, and I had to shut the game off. Because she gets so mad when they lose like that.
I've had to stream a few of those this year.
It was a stinker.
What do you do?
Well, I think you talk about
You just banter
some
with the chat,
issues
right?
that they have. Yeah, I was struggling last night. Anybody that watched the stream, I apologize. I was fine all the way through the podcast yesterday, and then we start the first period, and my body's like, listen, you've been sick for about a week. I'm going to start coughing, and I'm not going to stop.
Oh, the worst.
And so anyway, I apologize to anybody that had to handle that first period with me. I think beyond that first 5 minutes where they seem to have some pop in the first period, they didn't have any legs. And it's interesting because the quotes kind of back that up. Like Matthew said, I don't think we had our legs tonight. And I know they're coming off a Western Road swing. And here's the thing. In a normal set of circumstances, a loss like that, you'd be like, well, I wouldn't call it a scheduled loss. I wouldn't call it great. I'm not happy about it. But they did just come off of a pretty tough road trip in terms of travel. And they don't have their legs and they weren't able to win. The problem is that they fucked around for 3 months.
Yeah.
And had they, let's say they had been decisive
At
enough
home.
as an organization, mostly at home, decisive enough as an organization to say, hey, our offense is not clicking. Let's get rid of Savard now instead of waiting till just before Christmas.
How long do we yell and scream on the show, do something?
Do something.
How long?
The Do Something episodes all happened in, I think, early December. That was all your Do Something LFRs.
That is the history of this show, though, isn't it? Early on identifying a very obvious problem with the Leafs, them not doing anything about it for weeks and months, them finally doing something about it, it's too late.
And so now every time they lose, it's not that it's a loss, it's a damn it, like that's an opportunity frittered away.
You can't afford it.
You can't afford it because not only like the Leafs have been red hot, but so has everybody else ahead of them. Detroit, Tampa, Montreal, and Buffalo have been unbelievable. And let's not forget that the Florida Panthers are lying in wait. And if Ottawa figures out how to get a save, that's a good team too.
Oh, yeah. Like, the Blue Jackets' decision to fire Dean Evason was still surprising, but like no one's out of it. No one is true.
I mean, they did it to save their season. We'll talk about the Evason thing in a bit because I had a segment prep for yesterday's show, but we went too long. So here's what I want to I want to ask you guys about this game.
Just on what you're saying.
Oh, okay, please.
I think it's very true that like the original sin of last night's game is the fact that they didn't take advantage of their schedule in October, November, and December. They went out to the central time zone. I'm pretty sure, I just want to check it, 2 times from the beginning of the season to December 21st. I believe they played Chicago on the road and then Dallas on the road. Like, that's insane luck in scheduling, and you should have stockpiled all
both those
wins.
games, by the way.
Yeah, and they did. And then their first month of the season, it was 8 home games and 3 road games.
Wow.
You got to come off of training camp and just sit at home all October, and the league gave you this schedule so you could stockpile a bunch of wins. And last night's loss, it's an okay loss, because if you look at how the things play out, Minnesota played Buffalo on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. Very injured,
but Minnesota came here Saturday evening. They were in Toronto on Saturday evening. They're having dinner out on King West. They're having a team dinner there.
They were here before the Leafs were.
They were hanging out for almost 2 days, and they were comfy, so they had all of their legs fresh. And the Leafs, coming off of that Western swing where they're playing every other day, they get in late, I guess, Sunday morning, and then you rest, reset Sunday, and then you're playing again on Monday. That's tough. Yeah. That's tough for anybody, any NHL team going against those 2 teams. And it's okay if you lose that game there, but it's not okay if you lose it if you're fighting for a playoff spot and Buffalo loses in regulation and you have the chance to get points back in the standing against them. And it's not okay when John Tavares, who's basically a B-level coach for this team, and the actual coach come out and say, yes, we didn't have our legs, but when you don't have your legs, you have to play smart hockey to keep yourself in games in different ways. Yeah. And I thought that was a perfect way to put it. I'm so glad that JT still talks so often after the games, because he actually gives us stuff that like is the right mentality about these games, like a coach would. And he's saying, yeah, it's the schedule. We didn't have our legs, but we're a veteran team, and you got to know how to work around the edges and not play fast and play smart hockey when you don't have your legs and keep yourself in the game through other ways. And the Leafs didn't do that, which is such a disappointment.
And maybe this isn't the right way to look at it, because when the Leafs were still in the game, he set up a goal, but Matthew Knies was a game time decision. Every indicator was he wasn't going to play. He didn't take line rushes. And then I didn't know he was in the game until the game began. I was like, I was announcing the lineup, and I was like, Drew, is Matthew Knies actually playing? I was like, there's 23. Okay, well, I guess he's in. So wait, who the hell scratched then? So, but, and he, after the game, Jesse, what was his quote? Like, because
he has a nagging injury. He's told us that, and like rest really helps with him. Rest really helps with it, and he said he hasn't been like 100% in quite a while. Right, and now you ended up playing that game. You got caved, which was a waste of a game. It was a complete waste of a game, and now you got Detroit on Wednesday, which is arguably an even more important game.
That's a must win.
And they all said the same thing. We got a big game on Wednesday, and it's rare that you hear them talk ahead in the schedule. Usually we're so focused in that post game on that one game, but they were saying, we got a big divisional matchup coming up on Wednesday.
Like, get your rest when you can. Like, I think hindsight is obviously 2020, but that was very narrow-minded, because you lose to Minnesota, even if you beat them, okay? Detroit is extremely important. Vegas is going to be emotional. Then you have Colorado Sunday afternoon, so that's, you barely really get the Saturday off. Buffalo is an extremely important game.
When's that?
That is Tuesday, next Tuesday. And then you go back out west for this. Get a load of this hunk of shit. Thursday, 10 o'clock, Seattle. 2 days later, Vancouver, Saturday. Hopefully Vancouver remains Vancouver. And then Monday, 10 o'clock in Calgary. The next night, 8:30 in Edmonton. So you got like a 19-hour turnaround to play Connor McDavid, which is just the NHL schedule makers going, fuck you.
Yeah, but
directly to your face.
It's not fuck you, because we gave you everything you could have ever asked for from October through December.
You wasted it.
This is why we had those 2 parts of the schedule.
They will play Buffalo Tuesday, January 27th. It will be their last home game until February 28th.
Now that's also because of the.
It is because of the Olympic break, but they have one home game in all of February.
They play 4.
I think Anthony
5
Stolarz
games, right?
nailed it after the Seattle game when he said, if we keep throwing away points like this, it's going to be a problem.
That was a long time ago.
And he was absolutely right.
Yep.
And by the way, he just was loaned to the Marlies on a conditioning stint, so he could be back
Hooray!
soon. I think I want to start with something that Jesse mentioned about John Tavares' quote. There's 2 instances of, you're hearing Berube say puck play a lot. That's the new brand, puck play. The first one is, I think, goal number 2, where McCabe tries to get the puck to Bobby McMahon.
Oh my God!
Sends him the worst pass ever, and then it immediately turns over, and obviously it's a defensive zone start for the Leafs. They turn the puck over. Minnesota makes them pay.
McCabe's battling something for sure.
McCabe, since he's come back from injury, has been outscored 7-1.
Yeah,
5-on-5 minutes.
At all. Yeah.
So they are gonna, if they do have aspirations of making the playoffs this year, they're gonna have to make a trade, and so like that is what it is. Like, you can't. Their injury bug has bit them hard this year. It is what it is. You gotta, if you really think you're gonna make the playoffs, or you think you can, then you got to do it, and you better do it soon.
I disagree that you should buy.
I listen. I'm not saying that they should buy either. I'm just saying, if you think that you're going to make the playoffs and this is part of your window, you better do it soon.
They need to.
Remember, I was the one who was happy to sit tight.
They badly need to refocus because a number of things that they've been doing very well at have been slipping.
The one other thing I want to mention before you get into that point is the other puck play incident for a guy we complimented yesterday was Max Domi giving up the puck, Tarasenko breakaway, and I think that's the 4-1 goal.
Can I show the first one
you're
talking about? So here we go. On the screen, you will see there is a face-off, and it is one back. There we go. McCabe gets the puck. He's trying to pass it to Bobby McMahon. He can't pass it cleanly to McMahon. McMahon can't grab it. It goes up to the blue line, and the Minnesota Wild...
not your regular turnover. That's Brock Faber.
Yes. Yeah. Brock Faber is able to keep it into the zone. He rags it around the back of the net, and then OEL isn't able to grab the puck because he's also slow today because everybody on the Leafs is tired.
And that's Kirill Kaprizov.
Kaprizov retrieves it after OEL can't grab it. He sends it out front to Zuccarello, who then passes it to Ryan Hartman.
What a fire drill.
So open in front because nobody decided to cover the net after they all fumbled this face-off.
So McCabe makes the initial mistake, and he's also not there to make up for it.
And OEL was in the corner there, not being able to get that puck that was going along the boards. And then Matthews and Domi and McMahon were somewhere up in the zone just hanging out.
I talked about this on the LFR last night.
Ugly goal.
We talked about the Leafs penalty kill a few episodes ago and how good it's been. And Adam brought up their penalty kill save percentage,
which was 950 at one point.
950, and the next highest team I think was like 890 something. 895.
Islanders.
And I was like, wow. And I had a thought in my head, but I was like, don't you dare say that into a mic. Don't. So I held it and I repressed it. I'm willing to reveal the thought now. That's due for regression. And boy, they are getting their ass kicked on the penalty kill lately. And Joseph Woll is really, really struggling. And when I say they got to refocus, guys are taking penalties that can't.
Benoit and Benoit's penalty to start the game, Cowan in the offensive zone.
You're back in the lineup for like 4.5 minutes. You take a call, and then they score.
He's the early penalty king, by the way.
Yeah, Benoit. Awesome. Great. Good. And then Easton Cowan, like you're already on thin ice. You take another offensive zone penalty, and that leads to a goal against too. And now you're paying a lot more attention to who is getting called when for what, because you're not killing it, right? And that's going to affect the way you play 5-on-5 because you're like, you know what? I'm going to take liberties. I'm going to play a certain style because I don't think I'm going to take a penalty, but if I do, we'll kill it. Well, now maybe you're a little apprehensive and you're going to stick check a little different and, lay the body a little different. And now all of a sudden you're overthinking everything and it's in the back of your net. And now you suck at 5-on-5 too. And also your goalie's not making saves. Like a lot of things are going wrong all at once, which is why they got to screw their head on fast because the schedule doesn't stop. It's relentless this season. And it's like that for everyone. So, like yesterday, I was trying to explain it's an explanation, not an excuse. Mm-hmm. I'm explaining what's happening, but I'm not excusing. Like, listen, there's a game tomorrow. Damn. That sucks. Better win it. Damn, there's a game Friday. Well, hope you win. And it just keeps friggin' going like that.
So the question's got to be, how do they win? And I think we got to have a serious conversation, Steve and Jesse, about how minutes are being handed out, especially on defense. What was clear last night is that Minnesota were able to take advantage of some pretty severely open passing lanes, especially when it came to being in your own defensive zone. Forget the neutral zone where they were able to shut the Leafs down, turn around and reload real quick. Some of that has to do with the fact that the Leafs just didn't have any pop in their legs. But when I look at like Toronto's supposed to be a north-south team, east-west teams fucking kill these guys.
Did you see
they
Matthews?
were just cross ice.
Did you see Matthews' explanation about Quinn Hughes? Basically, his skating makes it impossible to establish your forecheck, is what he was saying.
Wow. What a compliment.
Paraphrasing? Yeah. This one player makes it impossible for us to play our game. And this one player, by the way, played like half the game. Oh, maybe we should save him. We're up big in this game. Nope. 26 minutes.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
And no, you're right. Like teams that can play like that, the Leafs have a lot of trouble.
So I got to ask then why a guy like Troy Stecher is only playing 16 minutes and a guy like Morgan Riley's playing close to 22 to 23 a night.
I didn't think Troy Stecher had the best game last night, but I don't think anybody did.
I agree. But I think when we come to, like, if we're looking at who in the top four is struggling the most, obviously McCabe is fighting something. But I think defensively, it's got to be Morgan Riley. And they
23 minutes, 18 seconds.
They continually put him out there in positions where I know he's not going to succeed.
Man.
And I know he makes $7.5 million. That was a contract that was signed long ago by a GM who's far, far away. This is not, I don't care what he makes. I care what he does and what he does today. Not what he did when he signed the contract. And he was never great defensively. But what we're seeing is very clearly Morgan Riley should not be much more than the fourth in terms of time on ice defenseman on this team. It should be OEL, it should be McCabe, it should be Stecher. Morgan Riley's got to be fourth of four.
Yeah.
He does.
What I was going to say is at some point during that game, you got to wave the white flag, and it'd be great to get other guys those minutes. One thing you gotta maybe give the Leafs credit for is they never really did waive it.
No, they kept fighting.
They kept fighting, and for that reason, that's why if you need a goal, it is valuable to have Morgan Riley out there.
Is it?
If
he can't get anything going, here's the other question.
If he takes a shot, I might scream. But
Steve,
I'm noticing
how is he quarterbacking the power play at this point?
I disagree with that. Yeah.
34 points from OEL, and we've got Morgan Riley who cannot shoot.
Can't.
And so what does a team do? I say this every single time. If Morgan Riley's on the point, I don't need to cover him because I'll cover off all the rest of the other forwards. And if Morgan Riley shoots, great. It's a beach ball anyway. Like, what do we do? What are they truly expecting?
Well, no, I covered Morgan Riley at the point because he's going to fire a muffin into my legs. I'm going to kick it the other way, and I'm going to beat him in the foot race, so it's a breakaway.
I think that's specifically the issue you'd have with minute deployment for Morgan Riley because he plays essentially the same minutes at 5-on-5 as the other defenseman that you're asking for. Like last night, he played 17:58 at even strength. Jake McCabe played 17:42. Carlo played 16:36, and OEL played 17:52. They all play kind of flat minutes at even strength. The difference is Morgan played 5 minutes on the power play. So those are the extra minutes. So if you're asking for Morgan to play less minutes, you're just asking for him to be removed from that power play.
I need his
that is what Adam is asking.
I'm asking.
Yes.
And
I'm just trying to hammer down to the issue.
No, and that's fair. I think that's great, actually. And I want his 5-on-5 minutes to be more effective. His power play minutes are ineffective. So, last night what I saw was a guy, first off, a team that was struggling with zone entries. Could not enter the zone. Could not.
And
they've
that's
been,
Quinn Hughes.
It's Quinn Hughes, and they've been really good at that, right? They've since Sullivan has taken over on the power play, you've seen it. But my issue is that
you meant the power play specifically.
That's what I'm talking about. So you take those 5 minutes away and you shave him down. I'm not saying he shouldn't be on the power play. Put him on power play unit 2. How many minutes, Jesse, did OEL play?
On the power play?
Yeah.
140.
So that's what Morgan Riley's number
Yeah, you want to swap those where OEL has that 5 and Morgan has the 140.
Super easy thing to do. Super easy.
And they've tried that throughout the season. Like,
They
remember,
have.
we started the year coming out of training camp. Morgan was one of the big storylines of the Leafs where he's had a resurgence. He's going to have a resurgence because he had such a big summer and now he's healthy and he understands Berube's system. And then he's going to be quarterback PP1. And then they abandoned that a couple weeks in after it wasn't effective. And then they had OEL there. And then now they've gone back to Morgan.
Right.
And
And
it was working with him for a little bit there. The power play was a little hot.
it was,
And then
but was
now
it
it's
working
gone back
because
cold.
of him? That's my question.
Right.
Well, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson rips the thing. And
yeah.
and I saw people defending Morgan Riley's shot like, well, he's shooting for tips.
No, he's not. OEL shoots for
Well,
tips.
how often is that effective is what I would ask. And also the last tip I remember going in from a defenseman shooting was OEL and McMahon in the Jets game.
Yeah.
Like that game, I was too caught up in the euphoria of hooray, we won. I was there.
You were part of it.
Yeah, I was definitely there. I was definitely part of it. Is like OEL willed that win.
Yep.
He scored.
Sometimes you have a player who can do that.
And then he essentially, but wouldn't you like that player, if they are a defenseman, to quarterback PP1?
That's what I'm asking.
I would personally. Yeah. Now, are we just getting our grievances out there in a game where nothing went right? Maybe. Like these are but these are things that have been true for a while.
And if it goes to what John Tavares said, which is in games where you don't have the energy, you have to puck play well. You have to puck play better than they did. You have to make the smart plays. They weren't doing them.
Well,
but
how about be physical?
You could be
even?
physical. Sure.
I didn't see any of that.
Not a lot of hits. You're right. Now, they're very mobile on defense, so that's probably part of it.
The Wild?
Yeah. Like they had a pretty quick defensive core.
It's someone else.
Yeah. Yeah, you could.
Or fuck with them after the whistle. That's what all the best teams do. Is, okay, are you dragging ass at the end of a shift? Here's a nice little fucking glove for you. Here's a nice little grab you by the collar. And the best teams know how to walk that line. That's how you wear your opponent down. Everyone thinks it's just like, hits and smashing them into the boards. And yeah, that's definitely part of it. But there's a gamesmanship to it that the best teams in this league are just frankly better at.
Yeah. It's a game where you're right, everything went wrong. This is what I was saying on the stream last night. The Leafs ceiling's pretty high, especially if Nylander's in the lineup.
Ceiling, yeah.
This team can score, and they're seeing depth scoring now, something we haven't seen the entire era. Right? It was 3 or 4 guys that were doing the majority of the scoring before. You'd have a 5th or a 6th every once in a while. The emergence of, you'd have, JVR early on or Bozak, Kadri, and then it switched to Marlowe, had a 27-goal season. 9 of those were empty netters, but who cares?
They had depth scoring because everyone was the depth.
Right, yeah.
For a while.
But then, recently it was like Marner, Matthews, Nylander, Tavares, McMahon, and Robertson could chip 14 or 15 in, stuff like that. Now we're seeing it really spread out. The goals are there. Goals per game are almost as high, if not higher, than last year.
And Matthews is humming.
Yeah, he's looking good. Where I kind of feel like if you're gonna really make a charge at the playoffs, you gotta take a swing. Is that it's pretty clear watching Minnesota last night and watching Colorado last week, they don't have it on the back end. They don't have it, and I don't know that they're gonna get it with the personnel that they have. And so if the reports are to be believed that the Toronto Maple Leafs organization believe they have this year and the next 2 as a true cup window, right? Matthews and Nylander are going to be, 29 to 32 over that,
right? Whatever.
Mm-hmm. You better swing now. Or you better swing this summer, I guess. It's like, and again, I'm the one saying they should sit tight and not do anything. But you saw last night against a team that has next to no center depth how much mobile defense can help you. You looked at the Colorado game last week, and it's not just Makar and Taze. Like, look down their lineup. Who's that?
Malinsky?
Malinsky. Man, that guy can move.
Yeah, he's real
Holy.
good. Gerard is real good.
Like, they can walk you. And then you got Manson, who's tough.
And Manson's a bastard. Yeah. Huge. Manson was such an underrated part of that cup.
Yes.
Such an underrated part of that cup. I loved watching
Another
him.
gift from Buffalo. He was Anaheim, wasn't he? And then he was Buffalo, I think. Josh Manson? I'm looking him up.
Are you confusing him with Montour?
Who
I think was also a Duck? Dude, the Ducks, if they had just kept all their guys...
They were a factory for a while.
Would have had like one of the greatest decors in NHL history.
Oh, no, it was Anaheim to Colorado. You're right. Yeah, he only played in Anaheim and Colorado.
Yeah, he was really, really good.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking Montour. Anyway, I think there is going to be like a come to Jesus here in the next week. We kind of are going to know where the season's going to go. And I feel like we're okay, sure, they could beat Detroit, and I hope they beat Vegas. Leaf fans deserve that.
For the sake of the fan base, I hope
mental health reasons.
They beat Mitch Marner on Friday.
Imagine regardless of what happens in the Detroit game, imagine you beat Vegas and then Colorado.
That'd be awesome.
Holy shit. You know what? We're winning the cup, actually. Like that is, I think, how that's got to go to the fan base's legs. That goes to the team's legs.
But imagine you beat Detroit 10-0 and then lose to Marner on Friday.
Oh,
does that 10-0 win mean anything?
I mean, it means something in the standings, but I would be very salty.
Listen, let's just be honest.
I don't know if you care on Friday night.
Yeah. The standings don't care. Fans do. Some games mean more than others.
Oh, 100%.
They do. There was a game, it's not just the Leafs. There was a game earlier this year. I think it was in Edmonton. And the Panthers visited the Oilers, or the Panthers played the Oilers, regardless of where it was. That's just another game in the standings. Mm-hmm. It's 2 points. And the Oilers said, you must die. And they stomped the Panthers. You know why? That game meant a lot to the Oilers.
I think every Leafs-Jets game has meant more ever since the infamous words.
100%.
Those games are they're 2 points in the standings. They're 3 points if they go to overtime or shootout or whatever. But those games mean more to those two fan bases because of those little comments.
Leafs are 8-1 against the Jets since then. You think that's a coincidence?
No.
Get a pulse.
Yeah.
No shot. It's bulletin board material. What I keep referencing is Don Cherry mentioned this story in every Rock'em Sock'em tape. Daryl Sittler gets 6 goals, 4 assists for 10 points, which is the still standing single game record in a game against the Boston Bruins. The Leafs got him a commemorative tea set, and the Bruins didn't lose to the Leafs for something like 3 years.
Harold Ballard's such a cheap fucker. Commemorative tea set? Go fuck yourself, dude. Oh my God. Leafs history is so fucking embarrassing. The way that man treated people is appalling. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice with player props and live betting. Every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get into the game on DraftKings. And obviously, if you use the app, the lines are updated all the time, including in-game, which is kind of important.
You know who's been making a lot of saves lately? John Gibson. He's gone over to Detroit. Been a solid goaltender, under the radar, but he's been a large reason they're good now. So watch out, Leafs on Wednesday.
Wish he would stop. Would be nice if he
that's
quits.
enough, actually.
Yeah, how about you? Yeah, how about John? Take a vacay. All right.
Enough.
New customers bet just $5, and if you bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code SDPN. That's SDPN to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bets win. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Void in Ontario.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
I want to say this too, guys. I got some concerns in net. Joseph Woll in 5 periods allowed 10 goals. That's dating back to Vegas. Actually, I guess if you want to count the overtime period, it's technically 6 periods, but let's just call it 5. 6 goals against Vegas, 5 in the first 2 periods against Minnesota. I think there was 4 goals in the first 16 shots, which are Levi Marilainen numbers. I'm serious. I don't think you give Joseph Woll the start against Vegas.
Man, the tip for the third one, it's a tip, but it's a floater.
Is that the handcuff one where he
and I'm like,
down?
Oh my God, we need a save. And then there's the breakaway to Tarasenko for number 4. And it's a breakaway. He didn't have a chance. He didn't have a chance. And I just don't feel the same way about him this week that I did last. Where,
is he perhaps tired? Which is...
Figure it out. Because we were having the same conversation about Dennis Hildeby too. Right? So Stolarz is going through this conditioning stint. That's great. Hooray. Ideally, you get him back before the end of this homestand. Maybe he plays the final game against Buffalo. Ideally, he comes with you on the Western trip. There's no guarantee any of that happens. You have to find a way. You have to.
So my question is, do you give Dennis Hildeby the start against Detroit? Do you give Joseph Woll another crack at Vegas?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, that's the order I would go in. Yeah, for sure.
Listen,
you need him regardless. Important, so you need a better goalie in there.
He's got great numbers this season. We pay you millions of dollars. Here's a chance to prove yourself. It's you don't establish you establish yourself in many ways, and that's over the course of the season, over large sample size. You also establish yourself in the big moments where the Leafs have wilted. So we're going to give Dennis Detroit, which is what they were probably going to do anyway. You have X amount of days to ice bath, read a book, whatever the hell you need to do. I don't care. And now it's your chance to have a mulligan for what was probably your worst game of the season.
But those 2 games that are coming up, the Detroit game is the more important game in actuality.
Yeah, but
I don't even think Joseph Woll would even think about it like that. He's going into, even if they are both important, they're kind of equally important, just important in different ways. So I don't know. I think you're just giving him the regular schedule here.
Yes, I agree with that.
It's not like we're saving him for the bigger game. Both are equally important in different ways. Yeah.
Well, and how about this for the Leafs? Detroit has kicked your ass. All year they've kicked your ass. You have not beaten them. Maybe get up for that. Vegas, you choked. They humbled you. Maybe get up for that. Whatever. I'm trying to give them something to latch onto.
They're not listening to this, so I don't know if you're going to will the Leafs into playing better through this medium.
No, but we just talked about how the Jets gave them bulletin board material, and they've made the Jets wear it for 3 or 4 years now, right? So that's a team that beat you, rubbed your nose in it. Aren't you angry that Detroit's beaten you 3 times this year? Aren't you angry that you blew it against Vegas? Screw me, dude. Who gives a shit about me?
Have a pulse.
Yeah, have some pride. We talked in the Vegas game about you're a star, Marner's a star. You go head to head. Who comes out on top? Wasn't you. And how do you feel about that? Okay, great. What are you going to do about that? That's what I want to see. They're tired.
We have seen that. I know they're tired.
I know
they're tired. Tiring too, man.
And I'm here to tell you no one fucking cares. Least of which the NHL schedule.
Right.
The NHL schedule doesn't care. You need to bank these points, leave it all out there, and then here's the good news. Most of you have a month to recover.
Yes, and help might likely be on the way by next week, because Stolarz is with the Marlies, and they have a 3 games in 3 nights sort of thing. So he might play 2 of those. Even if he just plays 1. I mean, Woll only played the 1 game when he came back, I think. So and he let in 5 goals anyway.
It depends how the first game goes, I think.
Yeah. I mean, but if you're going back on that road trip that Jesse was mentioning, was it Jesse was mentioning the road trip that they've got next week?
No,
back
Steve
out
was
west?
reading the schedule.
You can cycle 3 goalies through that and deploy a fresh goalie every damn time.
Bring 3 goalies on the road trip, and then maybe you can send Hildeby down after that. Well, definitely send Hildeby down on account of let's get him playing games through the All-Star break.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like the smart thing to do.
Olympic break, sorry.
James Myrtle wrote a piece about the case of Dougie Hamilton for the Leafs. Do you guys like... Basically what it would be is that if the Leafs wanted the Devils to retain, they'd have to pay a lot of assets. If they don't want the Devils to retain, the Devils are happy to get rid of that $9 million, and the Leafs could somehow make it work. And I'm not going to get into the full details. You can read James's article. Do you like a fit like that for the Leafs, or is that a rush job bad idea?
Well, okay. I want you to have to read the article, but like the only way that makes any sense is trading Morgan Rielly to the Devils.
Here's the thing. The other thing to keep in mind is that if Tanev is returning the postseason, the Leafs could get creative with the contracts and have Hildeby as the backup. What's interesting is if Tanev is out for the year and goes on season-ending LTIR, the Leafs theoretically have enough cap room to assume all of Hamilton's contract.
So that's really interesting and clever and cool, which is how I can guarantee they're not going to do that.
He compared it to the Seth Jones deal last year, and obviously the rules are different, but
yeah,
you know,
I mean, that'd be awesome.
Not necessarily a stylistic fit. He's a big body, but he doesn't throw it.
Yeah,
but I can quarterback a power play.
Yeah, that would be incredible. I guess what I struggle with Dougie Hamilton is I have zero clue what his trade value is. So, like, obviously, if the Devils retain, that's a shitload of money and a shitload of cap space. That's going to cost you. If you take the full thing, are you getting him for...
Apparently, it's relatively little, according to James.
Relatively little. So what is that? A second?
I have no idea.
You know what I mean? I struggle with that one.
Jesse, what do you think?
If it's relatively little, would I like a good player? Yeah. You know what I mean?
And the Leafs have a ton of cap flexibility going into next year, even if they absorb that deal.
Yeah, I don't think it's just like, hey, you give them a second round pick and you get Dougie Hamilton. Like, I don't think it's that easy.
If you're the Devils, don't you want something that helps you now?
Exactly. This is a team in the Devils who are trying to save their own ass and make the playoffs, and they're not just giving away Dougie Hamilton to the Leafs for nothing.
What if they were able to just free up the cap space and go out and do what they wanted to do? Because I think that's their major stumbling block. They're not going to move Palat. I'm talking about the Devils. The Devils thing is they need cap space, right? That's what they need. So if Toronto is not going to help them, and nobody should help them unless they're retaining by offloading that deal.
You might be competing with them for a playoff spot.
Yeah, but I think they're like, hey, we need cap space now because we got other things that we got to address.
Right.
And so if you could just get rid of this, that's worth the value. Remember, having the cap space is valuable, hugely.
Did Dougie Hamilton famously visited museums or whatever. Was that when he was traded from Boston to Calgary?
I believe so.
Okay, but that means Brad Treliving was probably the guy who traded him. He traded for him, I think, and then also traded him away. Am I getting that timeline correct?
Yeah. There's a history there.
Would I like a good player who is a right-handed shot and a lifelong Leaf fan? Like, yeah, for sure. If it's relatively little, like, yeah, what are we even discussing here?
Okay. Jess, what do you think?
I just don't think the cost is going to be something that the Leafs can pay. Like, I feel like some other team's going to, if the Devils are willing to just move off of him, some other team's going to pay more than the Leafs have right now.
Like, the
cupboards are just a little bare. Also, I don't like the idea of the Leafs sending out a whole bunch of assets. Well, like, Dougie Hamilton's a player who signed through next season, so it's a little different. I don't think the Leafs should be doing pure rentals, and I guess this isn't that in this case. So the Hamilton deal makes sense. I just don't know if they have the assets to get him.
So Jacob Trouba and his $8 million cap hit were traded to the Ducks for Urho Vakanainen and a conditional fourth-round pick that turned into a guy who was picked in the fourth round. So it was a fourth-round pick. Like, is that what we're talking about? So that's like a young-ish roster defenseman and a pick.
Is it a Benoit?
I was kind of thinking Benoit, but I was embarrassed to say it.
Well, his name is on the trade board,
well,
right?
The Devils are soft as shit.
Benoit and a fourth for Dougie Hamilton.
I'm not saying
there's no way.
I'm not your retention, right? Because now Dougie Hamilton's $8 million.
I'm not saying Benoit. I'm not saying Hamilton and Trouba are apples to apples, but the way this potential deal is being discussed is exactly like that. Like,
Yeah.
we need to get rid of this guy. It's not, yeah, we're trying to recoup assets. They're like, please get rid of this awful burden on our franchise. And I'm like, Dougie Hamilton? Are we talking about the same player?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
What's happening right now? But you also got to consider that the Devils are actually kind of in a shit position.
Yeah, well, they can't make any moves to address the needs that they actually have. And defenseman is not a need that they have. They've got a glut of defensemen, and the guy that they want to move on from is the oldest guy.
I'm not interested in like trading one of the higher end guys. Obviously, I hope that is off the table. Like,
I would think so.
I obviously not Cowan. I really like Danford, and I would hate for that to happen.
I don't think you're moving a prospect for.
I like a lot of the guys they've drafted.
Yep.
Like, to be perfully honest, like Tyler Hopkins is doing pretty well. Harry Nancy is having a nice little
Holinka's
season.
having a good season.
Holinka looks great. So hopefully all those guys pan out. Is it Benoit on a pick? Is it Benoit on a couple picks?
Is it Benoit? That's right.
One
sir.
for one.
Would I do Simone Benoit for Dougie Hamilton?
Put it in your NHL
I
25
tell you
right
what,
now. Or
yes.
NHL 26. If it's a cap dump, that's what they usually come down to, though, right?
No, I know. This is why I'm struggling so much to have this conversation. Like, Dougie Hamilton was a great offensive defenseman 5 seconds ago, and he's struggling this year. And now he's being talked about like a pure cap dump, which is confusing to me. Trying to figure it out. If you can get him for cheap, like asset-wise, yeah, of course you do it.
All right.
I just
I
didn't know
want
they
you
had
to
that
look
kind
in
of
the
space.
camera, Adam, and tell the people the Leafs are going to move Simone Benoit for
Simone
Dougie
Benoit.
Hamilton.
The Leafs, Simone Benoit, Dougie Hamilton trade is 1-for-1.
That's good.
Let me give you a 1-for-1.
Give it to us.
Dougie Hamilton for Dennis Hildeby. Bang.
No. Why would you trade a friggin' goalie? We can't stay healthy. Are you out of your mind?
Devils don't have a goalie.
I don't care. That's their fucking problem. Why am I helping them? I'm already helping them with Dougie Hamilton.
This is the strangest.
No fucking way. The Leafs do not have Stolarz and Woll have not been in the same lineup in the same day since April last year.
I'm not saying I'd do it.
No fucking way.
No, so here's the problem with these trade conversations is you pitch something and you're like, well, no, this side says no. And now I'm swung the other way. And now you're going no.
No.
All right, so where do we go from here?
I think we have it. Benoit for Dougie Hamilton.
Simone Benoit. Straight up.
I think Tom Fitzgerald's going to turn down that Simone Benoit
Well,
deal.
then enjoy still not getting Quinn Hughes, Tom Fitzgerald.
That's out the window.
We have the Devils who are desperately trying to do something and cannot.
Yep.
And the Leafs who are always in on everything and will not do anything.
Mm-hmm.
If these two teams are paired together, it might be a frustrating little while here. Might be a frustrating 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think you're right. Frustrating also.
You ever watch a Will They or Won't They movie and they don't?
Frustrating also is the Canucks have lost 11 straight games.
Oof.
They are. I checked the standings last night. I'm like, oh, they're like squarely in last. They're like last, like super last.
Here, can I guess how much they're in last place?
Yeah, sure. You want to guess how many points they have, or do you want to guess how far in last place they are?
No, how far in last place? So we're okay. Who is second last?
Winnipeg.
I think Winnipeg is 4 points up on them.
They are 7 points up on them.
Ooh.
If you were to add,
so it's like over.
Okay, I just want to make sure my numbers are right here because I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Because this has been the fun thing about this season is like no one's out of it. And now we're starting to see
no, there's teams
drop.
If you were to double the Canucks points, they would still be second place to the Colorado Avalanche. 37 points this year. Colorado has 76.
Oh.
So they're like super last. And some of those losses, by the way, came in overtime. Their goal differential, and there's 49 games, is a negative 51.
Oh.
Like it's bad. It's really bad. And I've got a clip there, Jesse, I'd like to run of Adam Foote kind of talking to the media because
This was really underrated last night.
Yeah, I thought this was a really interesting press conference.
It got buried under the goalie fight. This was eye-opening.
Yeah, so let's have a look at this. And we talked a little bit yesterday about Garland and DeBrusk, who happened to be on the block. With DeBrusk is more on the block. They don't want to trade Garland, but teams want Garland. So DeBrusk has been a little streaky. Adam Foote, who was part of the last coaching staff, not a fan. Rick Tocchet was not a fan. So there's probably just a bad fit there. Tough contract to move at $6 million for a streaky winger. And Connor Garland is a team that everybody should want all the time. That guy rocks. If he's healthy.
What a pain in the ass.
Here's Adam Foote.
Adam, not the result you wanted tonight, but what did you make of the process and the performance from your group?
We had a great first period. Even in the second, our game plan, they're a team that's really good at holding their blue. They're not as good at when we get it deep. Their breakout off of forecheck's not very good. That was our game plan. It was working really well. We were disciplined on getting it deep, created a lot of offense off it. Couldn't get that one goal. And then I just, the second period, we got caught in our end there, but it seemed to me as soon as we got scored on the PK, we kind of got a little bit, got off our game.
What did you like about what you saw from some of your young guys in the forward group, particularly, Sassone and Carlson and that line?
They were great. They were good. They listen to the pre-scout, they listen to the game plan, and they go out and they do it, and they were hungry on the forecheck, and they created well tonight.
Talking to the guys in the room, we talked to Vander and Marcus, so some real veterans, about how they lead through this stretch here. What kind of positives are you trying to emphasize with this group as you try and get out of this skid?
Well, there's a lot of positives, and they've been doing a great job leading. But getting to the second period again, our veterans are the ones that feel defeated first. It's been going on here for a few years. We get off our game, we get frustrated, and we overcomplicate it, and slamming the gate and things like that. It's something we got to get out of our culture. Our culture's not going to be that anymore, and it just gets us off our game slightly, off our game plan, and for just a little bit too long, and it allows other teams to get a little bit of energy and come back in the game. And it's something we've got to stop. Like tonight, the good thing is it lasted about 7 minutes. We readjusted, came out with a great third period, had a kill, that call, I get it. It was an intense call. It can happen. It might not happen, but it does happen in hockey. But I've been watching this for too long to say, we got to stop burning ourselves by getting frustrated. We've got to stay within the plan. The plan's working. And, it's our vets. And they gotta hang in there.
That's huge.
That's damning. And it's funny. A lot of teams with a new coach, it's not someone who's been behind the bench for several years, right? The Canucks cannot trick Adam Foote. He's been there. He's seen it.
Won with them.
Yeah,
we got to the second round with them.
Yeah. And he's sick of this shit. This is when you start getting into culture problems. Man, I don't know what to do there. And when you start getting into culture problems, I think you're talking about like a down to the studs kind of thing. He's disgusted with his veteran group, and I got to imagine that permeates through to management. Like, did you hear the way he talked about the positives with the young kids? Because I wanted to pause there for a minute because I heard that question, and I'm like, man, covering a last place team sucks because you're just always talking about that kind of crap. Like, hey, so I know you lost 4-1, but there's someone in their early to mid 20s who they played 11 decent minutes tonight. Can you talk about them a little bit? And you're just trying to, okay, you're rebuilding. Let's talk about this kid. Do you eventually bump him up to 13 minutes? Get him a couple extra shots on goal, blah, 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 blah. And you're talking about the future, The guys who make the big bucks, the guys who have been here for a while, the guys who have probably played hundreds of games in a Canuck uniform, suck. And, it's not just about, they're a poor defensive player or they're a good defensive player and can't score, or their attitude is awful. And it's been this way for years. JT Miller's gone, fellas. All that, he was the problem and whatever. And listen, I have no doubt he was part of it. I've seen Rangers games. It's poison. And your captain's gone. It's poison. Like, a lot of guys are going to be gone by the time they're done.
I wonder about, so we talked about DeBrusk and Garland a little bit. I wonder about a guy like Elias Pettersson. I mean, he was the other side of the JT Miller thing. And, not having a lot of insights into that dressing room. And a lot of Vancouver focus has been on him, rightly so. 11.5, 11.6 million, not scoring at the rate that he did before he signed the contract.
Grading things on a curve.
Yeah.
Well, he back-checked Welton. I'm like, oh boy, you sound like us when Matthews was struggling.
So where do you go there? Because if we're talking about the veteran group, he's the center of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who else we could, like, you could talk about, Phil Hronik or Jake DeBrusk or Connor Garland or whoever else you want to mention. But it starts with Elias Pettersson.
Well, I'm not just saying this because Hronik's an Alan Walsh client. Like, the Canucks, despite being last place in the entire league, are overwhelmingly winning his minutes.
Yes.
So if you were ever going to keep a piece,
that might be the guy.
There's one.
Yeah.
Right? Like, maybe it's not all the way down to the studs. Down to the studs means keep the studs. And you get rid of the guys who aren't. With Petey, there were teams with interest last year, and he's performing better. There's less time left on the contract, which means there's less money owed, which means he's easier to trade. Honestly, if that's something you're really looking at, I think you should do it.
The other guy I want to talk about is Evander Kane. And he just got here.
He laid a hit on Matthew Schaefer.
I think he scored.
Yeah, but Evander Kane is not the kind of player you get to play on a team like this.
Well, this is what I was going to say, is that if Adam Foote knew this about the dressing room, and we all knew this about the dressing room, Evander Kane goes how the dressing room goes. That was part of the thing in San Jose when they brought him in. They're like, we got a strong dressing room culture. And then he played well there, and then it ended poorly. And then he goes to Edmonton, strong dressing room culture. They make the finals a couple years in a row. It ends under less than great circumstances. Let's call it what it is.
Of course.
So then you bring him into a dressing room that's been at war for 4 years?
But this is the Canucks making the same mistake they always do. They thought they were better than they were. Evander Kane is the kind of player you get to take a strong team and put them over the top.
Because he is fantastic when he's on.
He's a bastard. He's a factor out there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Like there are a number of shifts you can point at where you're like, oh, he's a liability here, he's a liability here. Matthew Schaefer didn't like playing against him. Fucking hammered him. And then he felt it on the bench, right? Like he's like an elite role player, if that's a thing, or like a premium depth guy, the kind of guy every team who's like, we got a shot at this, wants to go out and get, ignore all the issues or whatever. And the Oilers seem to manage it just fine. He doesn't belong in a last place team. He's not of use to that team. And I doubt he wants to be part of that. So he's gone. Like the good news is Kiefer Sherwood's out the door, and that was one of your biggest moves that you had to make. Quinn Hughes is already done. You still have how many weeks until the Olympics? 2?
2.5?
Right?
A little more than that. Yeah.
And then you got the whole Olympic break to make phone call. I tell you what, this trade deadline better be neat and tidy. You had a month to study for this exam. What do you mean you're not prepared? I better see everything happen. None of this wishy-washy garbage. No. And the Canucks especially, like Jim Rutherford, you could argue about the job he's done or whatever. Tearing it down is the easy part. There are no wins expected. In fact, they're frowned upon. Just get value for the guys you have. Quinn Hughes was your biggest piece of business. He's gone. Kiefer Sherwood was a very large piece of business. He's gone. You have an eternity left until the trade deadline. Value, 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 value.
Jesse, the Canucks have over $10 million wrapped up in 2 goaltenders and one that's just never healthy.
We called that out from day one.
Lankinen's had a really bad year. And what do you do in that situation? Because that seems like when no one's talking about it, but that kind of is a big problem too.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with what the Canucks are doing here and their goaltending situation. I think what the Canucks are doing is the correct thing, and that's stinking. They should be in the Gavin McKenna sweepstakes. They will be, and they are. And the best way to do that is by having bad goaltending. Like, you don't need Thatcher Demko to ever play another game for you this season if he's not healthy. And you can stink your way to a really good pick, because that's something the Canucks have lacked for the last, 10 years of this franchise, maybe 20 years. Like, when was the last time they drafted real high and got somebody that they're really excited about, besides Elias Pettersson, who didn't really work out?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, they've never picked first overall. And some of the Canucks fans I've spoken to are like, yeah, well, McKenna, Stenberg, Verhoff, we're not getting any of those guys because we never win the damn lottery, and they're all pouty about it.
Mm-hmm.
And Detroit is obviously doing very well, but it took them a long time, and it's because they didn't win the friggin' lottery.
They didn't get any lottery luck. So the best thing for the Canucks to do is just have the best odds and have the best balls when the lottery rolls around. And with the Quinn Hughes trade, they got another first-round pick this year, so they have their owns in Minnesota's. And then with the Kiefer Sherwood trade, they have their own second-round pick and San Jose's second-round pick. This is good stuff for a team that knows what they are right now. And okay, Adam Foote's got to stand up there and moan about his veteran team. And if I'm Patrick Allvin and Jim Rutherford, who are running the operation, I'm like, okay, that's nice, but we're kind of doing what we should be doing, and that's losing, because we don't have the pieces there in that locker room to win games. And you got to stomach through this. And Adam Foote's probably not going to be there when this team is good again. And I'm sorry, the fan base, I don't think is very happy with Adam Foote, because the locker room, I don't think respects him, or he's lost it a little because of everything that's gone on with the losing. You're going to have to stomach him for a little bit and just get through this tough part, because at the other end of it is a Canucks team that's never really bottomed out and tore it down, and will be better off for it.
Yeah.
In my eyes. Like, you look at their pieces, they still lack the real depth of prospects, and they still need to accumulate that to be a really good team.
They did really well in the Quinn Hughes deal.
They did.
Like, I love the value.
Those guys they got are like some of their top prospects in their organization, and they just got there.
Top players.
A month ago, you didn't have these guys.
Right.
Yeah.
And in a league that's had a lot of parity this year, there's a lot of teams that are dragging their feet about selling. Take advantage.
You're one of the only ones out there. Coming into the season, it was Pittsburgh was the only team, and then now Pittsburgh's probably going to make the playoffs if they can just keep this afloat a little bit. You might be one of the only sellers who can go out there and trade deadline and give somebody a Vander Kane, and someone like the Preds, who are going to fool themselves in thinking they're good, are going to pay the sun and the moon for a guy like a Vander Kane.
And you're going to force the hand of the market.
Totally.
Because if you do all this selling before everyone else, all of a sudden all the buyers already have what they need. And the buyers who didn't make a deal with you, are standing there with their piece in their hand, not knowing what the hell to do.
Yeah.
So the Canucks, I know the hockey's awful to watch right now. It's awful. But as rebuilds go, as teams in this position go, they're actually kind of in a nice spot.
Yeah, like it's going to be tough, but it's a good decision now to start your rebuild, because the sooner you start, the quicker it's going to take to get out of it. And like, I know Pettersson was number 7 on CJ's trade board. I think you should be moving off of him if somebody's willing to pay a Pettersson price for that, which is still...
What is a Pettersson price?
Say Carolina.
A number 2 center in the NHL who has the potential to get back to who he is.
Kotkaniemi and futures. Which is what it was last year. Let's stop dragging our feet, folks. Just do it.
And could you pry Wyatt Johnston off their hands?
Not
Wyatt Johnston. Sorry. Kevin, not Lankinen. Jeez. Logan Stankoven.
Oh,
get that mixed up.
No,
Yeah,
I was like,
I don't.
Adam.
not Wyatt Johnson.
Jesse,
Logan
call the
Stankoven.
hospital.
That's okay.
Our friend is...
Dallas
my
play. I got what you were thinking.
I'm sorry, Logan
Your
Stankoven.
brain was on the right course.
Yeah.
You were like, young guy on the Stars. What's his...
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So,
okay.
but like, Pettersson can be a useful number 2 for somebody. The thing is, you don't want to retain on that salary because that's going to be another 5 years for you. So it's about finding that space and somebody willing to take on that with the space. So you might not get as many assets back for him.
I'll retain.
That's
you
okay.
got to pay a fucking fortune.
Nah, like I want the cap flexibility, but also maybe the cap's going up. So maybe you just account for that in that way if you're getting enough assets back.
And you know what? Carolina's done a great job of absolutely crushing all their RFAs into deals that are probably below market value. Whatever, you got an overpaid second line center.
Yeah. Minnesota, too, is also a team that's always been thin down the middle, but I don't know if Guavin's you want to go back to Guavin and do Quinn Hughes again. You know?
Strikes me as the antithesis of a Bill Guavin player.
Yeah. I don't think that's really realistic there, but it's about now, hey, get creative with this. That can also wait till the offseason.
Yep.
He signed for so long. It's probably better, you do this in July. I don't have to sit there and watch Canucks games every single night like a Canucks fan must have to do. So I'm speaking of a place of privilege in championing this rebuild.
I don't know so much about privilege.
But I think they're doing the right thing by losing here.
Okay.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
It's a great 11-game losing streak. I don't know if I can put it any other way.
Yeah, they're in a really interesting spot in the market.
The last time the Canucks were truly great, Stanley Cup Finals great, they needed the second and third overall picks to get there. And it created a decade of greatness for them.
2 Hall of Famers.
And if you're Jim Rutherford, every dollar of your salary is earned by convincing and keeping convinced ownership on that fact. You need to say to him, the reason that the Sedins were Canucks, and I don't think the Aquilinis maybe owned the team back then, was because Brian Burke pulled off a miracle, got picks 2 and 3, drafted both players.
Story about that trade.
And
those trades.
Were able to create a great team around them that came within a game of winning the Stanley Cup. Like this is what it takes. This is what it takes.
Yeah.
The best 2 players in franchise history happened because Canucks were shit. They were bad.
Who are the top 3 scorers in the NHL?
Right now, McDavid,
First overall pick. Celebrini's the first overall pick.
I don't know who the other one is. McKinnon? First overall pick?
First overall pick. Like,
pretty obvious path, huh?
Those are all guys that were born from seasons of immense suffering.
Yeah.
It's don't watch all the games. Don't go to all the games. Jesse, can you pull up the jersey that I sent you?
Oh, yes.
Because this fan, God bless this Canucks fan, you got to have fun with it. You got to find a way. If you're not going because you know they're going to win. Maybe if you're literally a tiny baby child.
Yeah.
You're like, I think they're going to win every game. Okay? But any adult going to the game, I think, has to go like this. You like this jersey, Adam? So they covered up the H, the first H in Hughes, and the ES, so it just says ugh.
Pretty great.
And they covered it up with sad faces.
Yeah.
I want a 43 ugh jersey. That needs to be the rest of the season.
I love that. I think that's great. If they don't win another game, it's good for them.
I don't know if Americans know about this. I don't know if they have this in America. Do they have Buckleys in America?
I don't know. I don't think so.
There's a cough syrup up here, and its tagline is tastes awful, but it works. And you have it, and you're like, blah, blah, blah. And then your cough goes away.
Yep.
So this is a spoonful of Buckleys for you. You're not going to enjoy any game between now and April.
Gavin McKenna would be, pretty close to where he grew up if he ended up with the Canucks. He grew up in Whitehorse, so that's not so far.
Second,
Buckley's is primarily a Canadian brand.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, you won't find Buckley's in big box stores like CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart.
And they're missing out.
Like Buckley's Google AI.
Buckley's
Gemini.
The Gemini thing.
Did you hear that? Did you hear they're getting rid of Siri and it's going to be Gemini now because Siri's effectively useless and they're like, hey, we can't build one, so we're just going to buy Google's. Did you know that?
No.
So it'll be like, hey Gemini instead of hey Siri. Isn't that crazy?
Great.
Yeah.
Siri does suck.
I feel like you're spreading misinformation.
That's actually what's happening.
No, they're still gonna. I think they're still saying "Hey Siri."
Oh, but it'll be on the Gemini platform.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's the
all
back end that's different.
What?
Adam, did you see? There's this
Siri
video
still sucks.
where this golden retriever knocks on people's doors and then blasts them with water out of its
Yeah,
mouth.
Maddie said
like
to
a
me,
Pokemon.
she's like, "Could you believe that?"
Yeah, I saw one recently. It was a cat serving at a restaurant, and the cat walked up and like drank some of the milk. And
Can you believe that?
And then someone was like, "Wow, this video is crazy," and they believed it. It was AI.
I want to talk about
That
this
person just cut you off in traffic.
things before we go to
That person canceled out your vote.
a press conference. Linus Ullmark is having an interview, or has had the interview with Claire Hanna of TSN. As of this recording, the interview's not been released, but there is a minute 20 that's available online. And in it, we can play the clip.
Sure.
In it, he discusses, what's gone on in Ottawa for the last week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his comments are interesting. Wait to see the full interview, but we'll let him speak for himself.
Rumors that was being spread about me and my family started the day after I take an absence of leave. And people wonder why hockey players, professional athletes, are not talking. Why we're not showing any sort of emotions. Why mental health in men and in women are a stigma. It took them less than 24 hours from my absence of leave to try to find reasons to why I'm gone. Saying that I'm a homewrecker, a person that no one likes in the team, and I can't defend myself. Like, I didn't know about this until days later. And it sucks because I have a family. I have a wife, I have kids. I get sent text messages asking like, "Hey, are you guys good?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And then they tell you about the rumors and you're like, what the is wrong with people?
There you go. Yeah. So the rest of it will be posted on TSN's Instagram and YouTube and tsn.ca obviously later today.
It's important to, we had plenty to say. Let him say his piece. But the criticism that we had was in the Sens messaging and why are you spreading this? Personally, I feel like this helps keep it alive, but he's also the one person we haven't heard from is him, and he's entitled to talk. Without knowing all the details of what he's talking about, it's difficult to say more or have an opinion.
I still think what I said last week, I still believe. I'm curious to hear what the rest of the interview sounds like. And again, it was never about Linus. It was about the Sens handling of this. And
yes,
and that's the part for me that still I have questions about and I don't agree with. Plain and simple. But he's a human being, and this clearly hurt him.
I'm excited to hear his thoughts on the statement and all that, and how last week and everything.
Well, I know what he's going to say on the statement.
He's not going to be like, "Oh yeah, the Sens really screwed me on that one."
But I want to hear how he says it and what he has to say.
Yeah,
I don't know. This is it's really interesting. We don't get this kind of drama in the NHL. From outside of the actual details of this situation, I think it's just fun that we get this storyline that just keeps giving us more content, and it's cool that a player's sitting down and giving an interview and giving details. It's kind of fun for the
he's
sake
sticking
of
up for himself,
covering
right?
stuff.
He's sticking up for himself, and this started spreading the day after he took leave. That's new information.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
That's new information, and new information is always interesting.
I think it's nice that we are universe building with NHL content now.
Universe building? What do you mean?
We're building a universe. Universe building. You got the Star Wars universe. You build on it. You add things. The MCU.
What is this?
This Senators, Linus Ullmark taking a leave. We are building the universe.
The Reddit.
We had the Twitter guy who came on there and started spreading the rumors. Then we had the statement, and then we had Ian Mendez's blog, and then now we have the Linus Ullmark video. We are building the universe of the Ullmark drama.
There's been, I'll agree with you on one thing. There's never been in NHL history a more consequential random Twitter account. Never.
Here's what's crazy. So I assume this is going to get aired on television, on TSN. I don't think people appreciate how strange of a story this is if you're not chronically online, which is you, by the way. Oh, it's you. Yeah, is he talking to me? I'm talking to you. Everyone watching this right now, the majority of you are chronically online. And you know about the story. Of course you do. But people are going to see this on TV and genuinely be like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Mm-hmm.
They are. This is,
I think
to me, the story has been eye-opening.
By now, people, because it was on Hockey Night in Canada. Like,
oh, that's true.
Like, I think by now people know the Ottawa Senator story.
Why was it on Hockey Night in Canada?
Because of the statement, so they had to talk about it. But like, so I don't think anybody now is being like, oh, what happened in Ottawa? It's been like
I do
national
think,
television.
Like, I again, I understand what he's saying when we talk about like, well, this is why athletes are not more forthcoming about their information. And I think that like remember that the same thing happened in Toronto. Joseph Woll was gone for like a month and a half, 2 months for the start, like literally from mid-training camp to mid-November, gone. Nobody followed up. I'm sure there were rumors. I heard this, I heard that, or whatever. But what did Toronto do? Didn't say anything.
People ask me.
Sure.
A lot. Because people think I know stuff. And I'm like, guys.
Nobody knew that. And by the way, when there's a leave of absence taken, most reporters, like 99.9% of reporters, are not going to follow up on that.
Well, this was, the subtext, like I would tell people, oh yeah, I don't know. And in my head, I'm like, and I wouldn't tell you if I did.
Right. And so I don't know. This part for me, it's like there's just something about this. It feels very off. I'm just going to say it. Feels very, not about leanness, but again, the handling of it just, I don't know. This stuff, people take leaves. It happens. And in absence of information, people make shit up. Mm-hmm. And I understand that there's that this particular rumor was pretty vicious, right? True or not true, vicious. And I can understand how he would be offended by that. This is now the fourth touch point we've had on this.
At some point, it's got to be over. Like,
let the story die.
I respect him having his say. I think he deserves it. But at some point, all right, let's be done with this thing.
This should have been probably, to me, the only touch point on it.
Yes, I don't think that statement should have ever been made.
Statement shouldn't have happened. Yeah. Players shouldn't have had to answer for it. Staios gave the interview to LeBrun. This should have been the statement.
They made his life harder.
They made his life harder. They made the blog. So 5 touch points now.
Yeah.
They forgot that one too.
They made his life harder. I said that from day one.
You're not moving me off that opinion. I don't care how many angry tweets you send me. I do feel bad for Linus in this, though.
I'm not here saying I believe the Twitter account. I'm saying that the team made his and the rest of the locker room's lives harder, which is, to me, objectively true.
Oh yeah, that's so true that like we do in this whole thing feel bad for this man.
Yes,
like this is awful that it, and I
that was where our anger came from. It's like, why did you do this?
Totally, that it goes without saying, but it also can be said. Like it I feel bad for Linus in this situation.
Can I say I'd feel bad for him if it was true? Like it's none of our fucking business.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah. Overall, like this really sucks for him.
Yes, yeah. Like anyway, he deserved his say. Absolutely. He got his say. Good.
Dean Evison is on a bit of a PR campaign after getting let go from the Columbus Blue Jackets. He talked to Aaron Portzline, and he was not happy about how Don Waddell let him go. Obviously, he had a 3-year deal with an option for a 4th. Mm-hmm. He was 18 months into the deal. And he said, I walked in and assistant coach Steve McCarthy was there too. And I said, what are you doing here? Don had texted him too. I met Don in my office. He told me the news and he told me I was fired. And he said, I was blindsided. Yeah, of course. Usually when you go through this as a coach, you can feel it coming, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't. Waddell talked to me. He talked to Steve
Dangle,
Steve McCarthy, and it was basically time to pack our shit and get out of Dodge. At the end of the day, do you take it personally? You have to a little bit, but you have to be accountable too. I get that we lost leads in the third period, and I get that was frustrating for everybody. But without sounding like whiny or petty, a petty little whatever, I don't think the firing should have happened. I think it was too soon, and I think there was more to it than losing leads in the third period. What that is, I don't know.
Oh, that
Now-
to me was what are you implying?
And I think he does know.
Yeah.
And that's why he's talking so
Yeah.
openly. When do you hear a coach, again, this plays into the same sort of thing. When a coach is fired, okay, especially with the way the NHL works, I'm not saying it's right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever hear them give a interview immediately to a beat reporter and go, GM was wrong, it was too early, I think there was something else at play, but I don't know what that is. He knows exactly what it is. He's inferring something. And does that help his case for his next job? Because in this interview, he says, well, I'm hoping to get my next job. I'm working on my American citizenship. Obviously, I want to stay here and keep working and want to be coaching, whatever. Is an NHL team likely to hire you after seeing an interview like that?
No, this is career death. This is a really bad decision. Like, this league, probably more than any others, appreciates soldiers.
They appreciate silence.
Yeah.
There's a culture of silence here.
If I remember correctly, there was the taxi pick of Gerard Gallant, and that was more or less it. I might be remembering it incorrectly.
I don't think he said much about it.
I don't remember him saying much about it. I don't remember him sewering the Panthers? Florida Panthers.
Panthers, yeah. That seems so long ago now.
It does seem so long ago.
You're talking about when he got called an Uber outside of the arena or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And for people who don't know.
Yeah,
he was. There's a very famous picture. Gerard Gallant was a Florida Panthers coach. They fired him pretty early, and then there was like a picture of him grabbing an Uber as he was fired with a bag, and that was it. And people were like, "What the fuck? Why'd you do this to this guy?"
Babcock, when he was fired in Toronto, disappeared into the woods.
There was that one picture of him leaving the Four Seasons where he lived.
Right, from my Commodore, I think.
I think so, yeah.
And he eventually said something, but it was after all the like Marner and rumors stuff broke, and he was sticking up for himself from that. You very rarely hear a coach do this. They just move in silence and go on to their next job.
Or they do the Sheldon Keefe, thank you so much. It was so nice to be here.
Yeah, it was so
They
great
fly
to
off
be
into the
here.
distance.
They fly off into the heavens. It's a beautiful thing, the afterlife. New Jersey. I love that he did something that looked like he was talking from the afterlife, and he ended up on the Devils, who have put him through hell this season by the looks of it. But no, I don't think Dean Evason is going to get a head coach job anytime soon. That was a really poor decision.
Did you also see Elvis Merzlikins post-game interview after a win, and they asked him about, hey, what's been where did the jump come from? And he said, new coach.
Yeah, so I hate when people talk about like Toronto, like it's this special, ridiculous, overzealous media market. I think Toronto
we are.
No, I think Toronto is an average media market, and everyone else is dinky, teeny, tiny. And that's going to sound very typical Toronto of me. I just think it's true, because the starting goalie of the Columbus Blue Jackets is like, we're winning because we have a new coach. And we all just went, did not react. Most of you just learned that for the first time.
By the way, Rick Bowness is the new coach, came out of retirement after retiring from Winnipeg. And Evason compliments him, goes out of his way to say, Rick, he's like, Bones is a great guy, love him, whatever.
Smart.
Jesse, Merzlikins saying that, and Evason saying what he said. Do you have a sense of potentially what happened here?
I think Evason made the error by not telling us. Like, if he was going to do this and go to Portsea and do this interview and say that he doesn't feel it was justified in his firing, then he needs to go all the way, because this just screws him in every single way possible. So why not just do the full thing instead of doing a half measure where you get the same result?
That's a really good point.
It didn't make any.
You got to be 10 toes in.
Yeah,
right?
When he's going there, because I read the things like, I don't know why they fired me, but I know it wasn't because of the performance. I'm like, just say it if you're going to go this far, and the result will be the same. Nobody's probably going to hire you. The little brotherhood of hockey is going to look down on you a little. Who knows for how long, but they're not going to put you into their club just yet again. So you might as well say what you want to say, because this whole thing, you're edging this article where you want to fucking say something and just say it. And it was very annoying.
You know the Family Guy bit where Peter posts a cryptic Facebook picture of himself in the hospital with the caption, "I don't want to talk about it."
Yes.
That's essentially what this 61-year-old man just did.
Yeah.
Got fired. I don't want to talk about it very publicly in an Athletic article. This did not do his career any favors.
Even if you weren't fully right on your reasonings for the non on ice performance stuff, at least give us some guesses, because he definitely has in his mind some ideas as to why. Give us those. Share that with the audience. Else I read this and you say you don't want to come across as whiny, but it just sounds like complaining because you're not willing to go the full way.
It's great content. It's horrible for his career.
Yeah, and it's
the NHL likes guys who shut the fuck up.
100%. That's the whole thing. That is what
the whole thing.
The league is built on guys who don't talk outside of their hockey circle.
Ullmark just said it. You wonder why guys don't say anything.
Yeah.
No, generally speaking, it's actually better for you to shut the fuck up.
And then the fact that a player's openly saying that we're playing better because of the coach means that, there was a reason you were fired.
And you know what? It could be that they were dead fucking last.
Yes.
Because they were dead fucking last, too. Can we please just acknowledge that they've not been good too? And maybe the guys, to me, what it strikes me as, with Merzlikis being that open, is they didn't fucking like you, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't going to play for you. And Waddell probably saw, he's lost the room.
Yep.
I mean, it's not like Evason's going to go say that to Portia. You know what? I lost the room.
And
now Don
simple.
Now Don Waddell has to release his statement.
See, and then we can
sit down with Claire.
We should do universe building for this.
Jesse.
So Don Waddell comes out and he records a TikTok and he's like, "Yeah, I know why you're all here. I am that guy that fired Dean Evason." And then there's some music in the background. He explains his reasoning, and then we get that part of the universe.
Yeah, no,
and then
Dean
we sell
Evason
T-shirts that are like, "I'm fired." It's Dean Evason's face.
No, Evason's in the middle of his interview with Portsline, and all of a sudden, Don Waddell's music kicks on. And, his Jumbotron stuff starts playing, and he walks out with the mic. Whoa, wait. Why am I holding a microphone over here? I haven't.
You haven't, yeah.
Whoa, wait. What I'm not going to let you do. And then they eventually hit each other with chairs.
All right, let me build some more universe for you, because I'm just looking at a
Columbus universe.
No, it's actually back to Ottawa, but it's a different piece of Ottawa. Jake Sanderson, Ottawa.
See, now we're in the extended Columbus Blue Jackets universe.
So this is the apology, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Okay.
Jake Sanderson said today,
that we all knew was coming
20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
First off, remember he said you need more than 10 saves to win a hockey game in reference to Levi Merlainen Saturday night. First off, I'm pretty embarrassed. I think the situation where after a game you got to take a few more minutes, take a few deep breaths. I talked to Levi Merlainen after the game and apologized. I still feel bad. He's a great guy, and I think that's not what good teammates do. You don't tear each other down. You build each other up, especially after a game like that. I'm pretty embarrassed. Steve, Jesse, your response to his response.
That's the right outcome. Listen,
he was sort of speaking the truth, though.
Yeah, that's the Stephen A. thing. You're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. It's true, man. You don't just sewer a guy. It's crazy. You see a coach do it much less than that, and it's rare. You never see a player, much less a defenseman, completely kill their goalie in public like that.
Yep.
I
liked the honesty.
I didn't care for the backlash to anything Jake Sanderson said. I thought he did the right thing by being honest in that moment, and I didn't disagree with him. They needed more saves, and I thought it was more so in the general sense, not directly at Merlainen, and just this team needs saves. And we illustrated last episode the stats that back up they need saves more than any other franchise since 1992, which was them in the expansion year.
And the next year, too.
And the next year.
Yeah.
He was right that they need saves. So
you could argue they're a top 10 team.
Based on
league average goaltending.
Yes, on the analytics. I consider goaltending to be a part of your team, so I wouldn't say that. Yeah. So, but the fact that he's walking it back, it's okay, do the right thing in the public for your guy, but I still don't think his comments were off base.
Okay. I like them. I like that kind of honesty. And I think Levi Merlainen's a big boy. And to me,
these are adults.
Buddy, you can fucking handle that. If I have a shit performance here or I say something bad, you guys will be the first one to say to me, "Hey, Adam." In fact, you guys will be the first one to say it on the show. You're fucking crazy. Why are you saying that? I think you sometimes, and it's kind of funny.
Tell everybody Benoit for Hamilton.
Benoit for Hamilton. Just trade is 1 for 1.
I've
said it twice
We'll talk
now.
about it after.
We'll talk. You know the worst when your parents be like, "We'll talk about it on the way home." I hate that. I just feel like, yeah, I guess the apology, he felt it was necessary, but I'm like, man, I'd like more honesty like that. I think Sens fans got a lot out of that going, finally somebody acknowledged it.
I don't think the apology was for us. I think it was for
him.
them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's fine. I don't care.
What's he apologizing to the fans?
Yeah, I don't fucking care.
Do we have time for a press conference?
No.
We do not. Okay, well, fuck it then. Trades 1 for 1. Hamilton for Benoit. Fire the extra. Get the fuck out of here.
We'll talk about it after. We'll talk.
You're going to apologize next show for
Also,
this.
we didn't explain that we're coming on Tuesday, did we? Yesterday?
I don't know.
I did on the street. I don't know. Yeah,
we're day early. Hey,
no,
we didn't mention
There are reasons why we're doing.
Steve can't talk about it. Adam will spoil it. Steve has something secret going on.
Yeah.
I know why, but you don't," said Dean Evison.
There are reasons why, but I can't get into that.
Yeah.
Someone might know why.
Is it related to the Blue Jackets?
No.
Oh.
Not even a little. I couldn't even make it clever. No.
He's tired. You can tell.
No, I'm doing great.
Keep punching, Steve.
Here we go.
Leafs play Detroit tomorrow. I'm doing that stream. Friday night, there is no Saturday game this week. Friday night, Steve Dangle, Vegas Golden Knights. Martyr return game!
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.